Space Coconut.
Okay, today we're going to talk about corrupt intervention and why it's not as good for the hag as everyone thinks it is. Before I get into this golden nugget of hag knowledge, I want to encourage you to sub to the channel. It really helps immensely and brings me closer to doing this full time. If you want to discuss anything you see in my videos or ask me a question directly, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I stream every Saturday at 10 AM Pacific, and also random streams happen during the week depending on my work schedule. Join the Discord if you want to find out when those random streams happen, and to talk to other coconuts about whatever you feel like. Links to everything are in the description. For those of you who don't care about the details, corrupt intervention does nearly nothing to help a hag player set up more traps or slow the gens down at the start of a match so you have more time to set up traps. All it does is change survivor behavior at the start of the match, which can hurt the hag more than help her. That's all you need to know. Go ahead and move on to a different video. Bye. Now, for those of us with attention spans longer than a goldfish, here are the details. I played 20 matches in total, 10 with only corrupt intervention, and 10 with no perks at all as a control. I counted the number of traps set, hooks, survivor hits, and how many gens were finished during the first 2 minutes of each match. Then took note of the map and the outcome of the match with the number of kills, escapes, and kept track of but didn't include the number of DCs. The variables that I didn't have control over that matter for the test were the strength of the survivors, their perks, the map, and the players' starting positions. Of course, 10 matches in each situation isn't enough to come up with a concrete conclusion, but it does give us enough information to show a trend on the performance of this perk, which will also tell us whether the perk is amazing or simply a placebo. This structure will also give other hag players the means to test the perk the same way and see what their results are, so you don't just take my word and results for it. And this is especially important because I have a very aggressive playstyle, and not all hag players play the same way. Because of this, the results of the test could be quite different for you. Anyway, here are the results of my test. As you can see from the data, the biggest impact corrupt intervention had was having less traps set during the 2-minute window. This is most likely because as survivors move away from the blocked gens, they run into the killer more quickly, giving the hag less time to set traps. You would think that if the killer was running into survivors more quickly, that they would get more hits and hooks in also. But the difference is tiny. This is probably because the hag is a 110% speed killer, and she relies on the traps she sets to catch survivors. Less traps set means less chances to catch a survivor off guard. This small hit difference translates to the number of gens done in the same period of time. I think this difference in my experiment was due to one match in particular where we had the nightmare scenario of 1 survivor down and 3 gens done. The difference in kills and escapes were much different than I was expecting. A 0.3 kill difference and a 0.4 escape difference, both in favor of the perkless test, could be attributed to a few things. The first is just the quality of survivors and maps in the respective tests. While it's completely reasonable that these uncontrolled variables are what caused this discrepancy, we can't ignore the fact that the stronger wins were in favor of the perkless runs. There's a possibility that while corrupt can score some early pressure, it makes a 3-gen in the endgame less likely, since survivors will come back to those gens later in the match after completing gens elsewhere on the map. It's not a sure thing that this is the reason, but I'm not going to go back and look at all that footage again, so you can do the test yourself and let us know whether you saw more or less 3-gen setups in your corrupt matches. Like I said before, this is just my own data, and you may or may not have similar results depending on your own playstyle, but you're probably lazy like me, so you can just take my word for it. And this video turned out to be a lot shorter than I thought it would be, but who cares? In conclusion, no matter what some content creators or other hag mains will tell you, the truth of the matter is that on the hag, you're probably wasting a perk slot if you use corrupt intervention. It doesn't give you more time to set more traps, and it doesn't slow survivors down from doing gens like so many people have been telling you. On other killers where you don't need to set anything up or you move at full speed, corrupt will probably be great for getting some early pressure on survivors. If you watch another content creator talk about how corrupt is great on hag, keep track of their stats during the match, during that first 2 minutes, and compare them to the ones I showed you in this video. I'd bet money that it's not going to be much different. Be sure to like the video if you like the video, and dislike the video if you like using overrated perks. Until next time, I'll see you in the fog.